Hello and welcome to Liberated, an online event to empower you to free yourself from emotional, mental, and spiritual oppression, as well as any other oppression, racial, sexual, political, economic, so that you can reclaim your sacred feminine power. I'm your host, Kristen Lena, and I am elated to bring you today's guest. Abigail Rebecca is, besides being an extraordinary human, a visibility coach, an international speaker, and the creator of Illuminated Leaders. She has been coaching, training, and developing women at the upper level for more than 20 years. She believes the age of Aquarius world needs more empowered, fully expressed, wealthy women. To that I say hallelujah, and Abby, welcome to Liberated.
Hey, Kristen.
Hi.
I've got I don't know why, I've got all goose, my crown chakras tingling.
When you said, I have goosebumps on my, because why do you think that is? Why do you think that is?
I think it's because this is exciting and also momentous. And I always feel so connected to you, but I do feel that this is such an amazing subject. And it's just extraordinary, what you're doing, bringing, these amazing speakers together. What you're standing for is incredible. So I'm just so happy to be here. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you.
I feel so privileged to be part of this.
Thank you so much. And you actually answered a question that I was thinking about asking you, which is, why did you say yes? So thank you for that. We are so connected. Why was this? So what I want to do is just share, have you share with the audience a little bit of your journey and why liberation or freedom is important to you, and in the context of the world, what's occurring right now. So tell us a little bit about you and how you got to be doing what you do.
Okay, I'll try and make it really succinct.
Sure.
So I used to wake up really anxious. I used to wake up feeling like I had a million things to do, a million things on my mind. I'd worked very hard to build a very successful corporate career. I was working at the very upper level. I was a senior leader. I managed big teams. I managed big projects. I managed big budgets. And I also had big stress levels. I was totally unhappy. I felt like I couldn't be myself within that organization, within the corporate world. I was trying to fit into the leader that they wanted me to be, instead of the leader that I wanted to be. And so I was suffocating all of that unhappiness, with working even harder, eating, drinking, just doing all of that to numb the pain. And I really felt like the harder I tried, the more I felt unworthy. There was just this real feeling of I'm not good enough. And look, when I tell this story, when I'm speaking on stage, this is the point where every woman in the audience is going, yeah, I've been there. So anyway, to cut a long story short, with my corporate career, I developed a really, really bad heart condition. And eventually that prompted me to exit corporate. In the meantime, I discovered law of attraction, and I was very excited. And I was like, oh, what are all these wonderful things that I can manifest? Let's have fun with it. And I realized I was really good at manifesting. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to see if I can manifest a severance payout. And I did. So 3 months later, I left corporate with a very nice, healthy severance payout. And I started my own business. I started off as a personal stylist, first of all. And then I transitioned into a presentation coach, because I'm really good at speaking on stages. So I was teaching other entrepreneurs to speak on stages. But I was building my business the only way that I knew how, and that was the corporate way. And I wasn't being very successful at it. So I then started to throw loads of money at it. I was investing thousands and thousands of pounds, dollars on high-level coaching programs, working with high-level coaches. I traveled the world looking for an answer. And it just wasn't happening for me. And again, it was just this feeling of I'm not good enough. I can't make it. I felt I was hiding. I was doing what I call hiding in plain sight. So I was pretending to be really visible, Like I was speaking on stages, I was being interviewed as an expert on summits and things like that, but I wasn't actually speaking my truth. I was still kind of like numbing myself and kind of not really coming out and speaking my truth, because I was worried about being ridiculed and people would think I'm crazy and that I joined a cult, and like all the things that I really wanted to talk about that I talk about now. I thought, oh, everybody's going to think that I've gone cray cray. So I'm just going to keep myself quiet and small and do the bare minimum, and then I'm not going to get criticized. Anyway, I remember very clearly flying out actually to California, where you are now, to run a VIP day with one of my clients, and I literally had £60, so about $90 in my bank account. That was it. I wasn't bringing in the money to my business consistently. The money was going out, but it wasn't coming in. And I remember feeling so scared and ashamed and just in this really awful place. And I met up with two women, one that I knew very well, one I'd only just met, very successful female entrepreneurs. And I was sat in the back of the car and they were talking about where they were going to go for breakfast, then where they were going to go for lunch, then where they were going to go for dinner. And I was like sat at the back thinking, these are all really expensive places. I can't afford to do this. And I remember so clearly just sat at the back of the car, summoning up all the courage that I could. It was raining. We're in San Francisco. The rain was coming down on the car. And I just burst out crying and just said, I can't afford it. I'm really struggling in my business. And that is the first time I'd ever been vulnerable. Normally with women like that, who I thought were really successful, who I admired, I'd try and be like, really like look good in front of them. Like I got my shit together, and I didn't. And I was really vulnerable. And in turn, they were vulnerable with me. And I was like, oh my God, this is a different way of doing things. So that's when it really struck me. All my life, I've just been playing it small. I've been dumbing it down. I've been staying like invisible, and I've been trying to look good to other people. So I started to look at different ways that I could build my business, and it brings us to where I am now. And you know, now by the way, can I just say that those amazing women who I love very dearly, that gave me the space to be able to express myself and be very, very vulnerable, and accepted me for who I was, not an entrepreneurial caricature, who I was pretending to be. They're my clients now.
Oh my God. Wow.
So I work with female entrepreneurs all around the world, and I really help them eliminate the bullshit, eliminate the goddess. So all the bullshit that stops us being highly visible and successful, all the stories that we have within our heads, I help women eliminate that and help them really come out as, you know, the goddesses as they are, and give them a voice and help them to become highly successful within their business, through being highly visible and very bold and courageous, and bringing those women together to also be very vulnerable. So I love to do retreats and online events like you do.
Did you say eliminate the bullshit so I can illuminate the goddess? Is that okay? Yeah, that's
so
juicy.
So if you go onto my website, that is like the front banner. That's my headline.
It's
and
awesome.
You know, and it took me a long time. That's stuff that I've really wanted to say, and I've kind of held back from it because I'm like, oh, everybody's going to think I'm really crass. And
be crass. So we talked about that right before we hit record. She said, can I say bullshit? And I said, you could say fuck, because we're grown ass women. And honestly, I honestly am saying this not just to swear. I'm saying this because this is another place where I personally have felt oppressed. Isn't, oh, I can't say that, or I can't say it this way, or I could never say it in this company with these people, say fuck or shit or damn, right? So it's like, again, there's so many places where I know personally I have felt oppressed, and in my speech, the actual words that come out of my mouth, just like what you said, like if I say what I'm really passionate about, who I really am, what are people going to think? And one of the things that you said is, I tried to build my business the corporate way. What does that mean?
That means the patriarchal way, like white men have been running businesses for years and years and years, you know, so it's a real old way of building business. And we see it happening now around us, even before, you know, the whole world changed with coronavirus, like literally like corporations just folding because they are building their business the way that business used to be built. And we're now in a new age. We're in the age of Aquarius.
Say more about that. I want to know more about the age of
Well,
Aquarius.
Well, I believe, and many people around the world believe, that for 2,000 years, we were in the Piscean age, which was really run by men. You know, before that, women were revered as goddesses. We had Mother Earth, we had paganism. Gaia was, you know, worshipped. There were freaking temples that people used to go and worship in, and the entrance to the temples, you used to walk through women's legs, you know, through their vulva, to go and honor the goddess. And that was all eliminated. And what happened is that the people in power really held the knowledge and the power and kept it to themselves. So the people in the power got more powerful and more rich. And then the people that didn't have the knowledge, you know, were more suppressed. And if you think about women, I mean, you know, we can look at all different genres and categories when it comes to human beings and the suppression of human beings. And you and I have spoken about this anyway offline. You know, both of us are real advocates and supporters of Black Lives Matter. You know, I stand for equality of all people. It just so happens that I love to work with women. So, you know, the genre that I talk about and the oppression that I talk about is women, all women, every single woman. But, you know, I think this is why a lot of women inside of us have this real fear of being visible. Because if you look at, you know, 1,000 years ago, what would happen to us if we were visible? If we stood up, if we were powerful, you know, we would be persecuted.
Yeah, quite literally burned at the stake. Yeah.
We'd be persecuted, you know, at certain times within those eras, we'd be burnt at the stake. You know, it's just this oppression of women is just tragic. And what we do is we have inherited that from our ancestors. You know, the matriarchal line, we've inherited it. It's still there. And then what happened in 2012 is we moved into a new era, the age of Aquarius, and we can see what's happened with technology, information sharing. Everybody's got the knowledge. Like, there's still secrets.
Yeah, right.
There's still a little bit, isn't there? There's still secret societies, and there's, you know, there's a lot of male secret societies, isn't there?
Yeah.
But the knowledge is being shared, it's being infiltrated, and there is this absolute rising of women and goddesses. And I am so thrilled to be part of this whole movement. You know, the men are doing their work because the men need to look at how they've been affected by patriarchy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they need to look at, okay, what's my role now in this world when, you know, there's an equality? So how do I turn up? How can I support the women? Because the women aren't rising to be better than men.
Right.
We're rising to be equal to men, for all women to be equal to all men. But we're in the death throes of patriarchy. You can see it happening all over the world. Like, look at all the countries, the corruption, the greed, everything that is run by, you know, these men that are trying to tightly hold on to it. So that's what I mean by the age of Aquarius. And, you know, for many, many years in corporate and also within my business, I tried to be a man.
Yes.
This leadership.
Yes. And that's where, and me too. And that's where, and I never got success. So what you were when you were talking earlier, like, I did more, I accomplished more, I slept less, I produced, like, it was all about this, like, you know, the male production, do more, achieve more, be, you know, almost as if, like you said, there it is. If I make it, then I'm enough. If I make it, then I'm worthy. And it doesn't work. It just doesn't work.
No.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
Especially for women.
And that's why we're not men. I can't be a man. I'm not a man. I have male energy.
You could if you chose to. Surgically, you could.
I could surgically I could, but in here I'm not. In my soul I'm not.
Right.
I'm in my soul I'm a female, and you know, and my body I represent as a female.
Yeah.
However, what was I going to say? I've got male energy.
Totally.
Like I get shit done. Like, come on, like I believe in law of attraction and female energy and all of that and creation and manifestation, but my feet are firmly planted on the ground. I just believe that there needs to be like, it needs to be equal. So we need to have the male and the female energy in men and women as humans. We need male and female energy. And for so long, the female energy has been suppressed. She's too emotional. She's too much. She's this, she's that, you know, she's
irrational.
She's gobby. She's, you know, she's a show off. All of these things, like, come on, like we need to be coming together and actually, you know, creating a world where we don't feel like we have to be a certain person to be an incredible leader. You know, I'm an incredible leader, but I use a lot of my feminine energy in my leadership. That's a lot of the way that I get shit done. Like I nurture and I create, and I bring women together and I connect. That's some real beautiful female energy right there. You know, I create and then I go out and implement it. That's my male energy.
Yeah, I love that. So let's talk about, you wanted to teach our audience about visibility and female leadership in the Aquarian age, which you just, thank you so much for giving us who don't know too much about that, about what that looks like and what that is. I'm going to just shut up over here. I'm going to mute my line, and you get to teach, you know, take the next 10 minutes or so and teach on this topic, because I will be taking copious notes, and if I'll be following along. So have at it.
Okay, so within this particular segment, I just wanted to kind of use an example of a really amazing client of mine, actually, who came to one of my in-person retreats. She is very successful within her own right. She speaks on stages. She speaks on other people's stages. She flies all around the States and speaks on other people's stages. And she also speaks on her own stage. She does big events. And I've alluded to it just earlier because this is what I used to do, but she was doing what I call hiding in plain sight. Okay, so she was being highly visible in the areas that she felt really comfortable in, but in the areas that she felt uncomfortable in, where her limiting beliefs were coming in and her feelings of I'm not good enough, she was running away from it. So she wasn't being complete and she wasn't being highly visible. And she came to me and said, on this retreat, she was like, Abby, I really need to do something about this because it's really affecting my business. So what she was doing is, she was like, what we've just been speaking about, actually. So she was pushing, driving, working. She's a very high achiever. So she was achieving high results. And then what she was doing is she was burning herself out and then just going off and doing like ayahuasca retreats for the next 5 months. And being like completely leaving her business and letting it kind of, you know, trickle away because she was the CEO. So there was nobody running the ship. And then she'd come back and she'd have to start all over again. So it was just completely burning her out. It was just a horrible situation for her. So on the outside, she looked really successful, but inside there was just like a bit of disarray. So what I did is I really shared some things with her that I want to share with you first now. So first of all, I just want to talk about really visibility and exposure and why it's so important and what it is. So I want you to imagine a circle, like imagine a circle, like a pie chart, actually, that's, do you say pie chart in the States?
Yes.
I want to check.
Yeah. No, we got you, pie chart. Yep.
Sometimes I have to check that I'm not being too British.
Please be as British as you could be. We'll look it up later.
Google it. So a pie chart. So it's in segments. So if you think about what is visibility? What is exposure, and what does it mean? A lot of people feel that to be highly successful within an industry or within your own business, you need to be really good at your job. So that's your gift, right? Your gift, your talent, like what you do for work. You have to be really good at it. But if you look at it in the context of success, it only accounts to 10% of your success. Because if you're good at your job, it just means you're good at your job. It doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. It just means you're good at what you do. Okay? So that's only 10% of success. Another part of success, 30% of success, comes down to image. So your brand, your colors, what your website looks like, how you look, how you dress, how you represent yourself on stage, the way that you talk, the emails that you send out. Like, so basically your image, and basically your image, your personal brand and your image is really, in a nutshell, what people say about you when you leave the room. Okay, so it's people's perception of you. Now, I'm not saying that that's not important. It is really important. And, you know, I incorporate a lot of style into my teachings. I'm a trained personal stylist. I understand the impact of not only looking good, like attracting people to you by the way that you look, but also the way that you feel, like, you know, like feeling really, really good about yourself. But that's not all of it. You can be really, really good at your job and look really, really good, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be successful. Because if only a handful of people know about you, you're not going to be highly successful. So that comes down to the other 60% of the pie, and that is visibility. Visibility accounts for that, because you have to be highly visible and consistently highly visible in order to create that success. And then all of that together then creates exposure. So I'm not a big one for follow my 7-step process. I'm just not into it at all. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with it. I just don't have it. The only method that I teach, I call it the give, act, get method, and it's very tied into law of attraction. So, you know, I believe in generosity, like giving stuff, being generous, giving stuff, giving information, giving knowledge, sharing knowledge. You then acting, because that's really important, and then you're going to get, right? So it's part of that. But this is the give part. So it's your gift, your image, and your visibility. All of that accounts for exposure, but really it's your visibility that is the 60%. So I taught this to my client, and she got it. Like, she really understood then that in order for her to create the success that she really wanted to create within her business, she needed to show it consistently. But then, of course, the limiting belief showed up. So I'm not good enough. She is an expert. She's a very good expert, but still her worries and concerns about, am I going to be too much? Am I going to be ridiculed? There's this real British expression, right? Which is she's too big for her boots. She's too big for her boots. You know, so all these limiting beliefs came up about herself. And I did some work with her around really, you know, what were her experiences in childhood. And this is really something that I'd like every single one of you that's watching this to really look at, like, what were you told when you were little? So I know what I was told. I was the youngest child. My brother was 9 years older than me. My sister was 11 years older than me. I was raised as a Jehovah's Witness. I got out of that game when I was 16. I left that energy when I was 16. But, you know, I was brought up to be a good little girl. Sit there and be quiet. Don't speak unless you're spoken to. I used to get patted on the head a lot. There. I wasn't listened to. And, you know, my father actually picked my subjects for me at school. I really wanted to do like science, and he chose cookery and needlework. Like, I was literally raised to be a housewife. I really, really was. So if I look at that and the way, no wonder I felt like I wasn't good enough in corporate, because I wasn't even raised to be a career woman. I felt like an absolute fraud and a failure. My client realized through doing that work, she speaks on big stages. She walks onto the stage, she looks the part, she's got her mic kit on, she's got her slide deck, she's got her adoring audience, she stands there, she looks out into the audience, and the first thing that comes into her mind is, I'm a big fraud. That is the first thing that comes in. I'm a fraud. They're going to find me out. I'm not good enough. So I really want to encourage you to explore this. Journal it, do some work, like ask some questions around it. Why do you feel like that? Who is it that told you that? And actually, if that is your belief, deep-rooted belief, and you want to be highly successful as an entrepreneur or a leader, like you want to be liberated, you step out of that story and into another story that you are good enough, you're brilliant, you're successful, you're amazing, you can create anything that you want. You're a woman. Oh my God, we're women. We are creators. Our wombs are our cauldrons. Like, there's a reason that we were suppressed for thousands of years, because we are the creators, we're the manifestors. We give birth to life. There is no glass ceiling around what we can create. The only blocks are the ones that we put in our place. So start to do the work. I'd highly recommend that you, like, if it's coming up for you, go and do some work, go and work with someone that can help you overcome that. Go to events that will help to inspire you. Hang out in communities of women that are out there walking the talk. Surround yourself with people that lift you up and inspire you instead of bringing you down. Anyway, the outcome of that is that she left the retreat. I got a text the next day. They were actually going on she'd come with a colleague, and they were actually going on a tour 2 weeks after, 2-week tour. And she was like, holy shit, Abby, I'm manifesting shit all over the place. She was like, it's not like we're manifesting so much. Like, they were out there, they were having fun, they were manifesting things. She 3x'd her business in the first part of the year. She's now built, she was multiple 6 figures, she's now gone into 7 figures, and she's just put in a COO. And I just look at her now, and she's like a completely different woman, because she is really owning her stuff. She's standing up and she's speaking her truth, and she's being highly visible, and she's not bothered. In fact, she's like, yeah, you want to come and criticize me? That's fine, because it means that my message, you'll laugh at this, is not beige.
So beige. Yes.
She's got this stuff that she's talking about that some people won't agree with. That's fine. Like, you want to go out and you want to be successful and you want to be visible. 33% of people in this world, your audience, will absolutely adore you and hang on to every single word. 33% of the audience will hate you, and 33% of the audience will not give a shit. Just go for the 33%. And the more niche you can be with your message, the more you can stand out there and talk about stuff that you think, oh, it's a bit crazy. Talk about it like it's you. Like, your authenticity is something that's going to attract people in to your life, the clients, the investors, the collaborators, the beautiful women that we all have within our communities. So that's why I love to do the work that I love to do, because I believe that every woman's birthright is to be wealthy and to be fully expressed, to be able to speak our truth and not have fear of criticism. And if the criticism comes, that's fine. We will get criticized. Anybody will, if our message is controversial. So, bring it on.
Oh, I have so many. How much time do we have? Oh, I have so many questions, because I can so relate to the visual. For me is like your client who kind of just ramped and just go. And then it's just like, shut it all off. Because it's exhausting. It isn't a pace. I've done it so many times. And like, this time I'm not going to do it. And I am working with someone to teach me how to create my business from the divine feminine, which is a lot of, you know, yes, it's like asking, it's giving, it's receiving, it's being in those states. And yet there's still a part of me that doesn't trust myself to not go into all of the mechanism of do you know what I mean? Like that's still a hook for me. That's still a hook for me. I know that probably won't ever go away. I just get to continue to be conscious of it. But so the visibility piece for you is you teach your clients how to be visible, but not burnt out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I work with women. I teach them how to, be visible, how to overcome their limiting beliefs that are stopping them being visible, to be visible, to go out there and be visible. And then I bring those communities of women together to just light each other up on beautiful retreats all around the world and events and things like that. So, you know, that's what I love to do. I love to travel. I love to be in the beautiful spaces. I love to hang out with amazing goddesses. So I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Pay me for that, please.
Yes, let's do that. Let's do more of that. Okay, let's talk about is there anything you want to say before we talk about your free gift, the gift that you're giving to our audience?
I think I covered everything, and I'm really conscious of time. But I would just really encourage you to look when you do that piece of work, and you know, if you look at your visibility, like what's stopping you from being visible. Mm-hmm. What is preventing you creating success in one part of your life? So if it's your business, for example, whatever it is that's stopping you from creating success in your business is also preventing you from creating success in other parts of your life. So you only need to fix one bit. So, you know, it's like a client attraction is exactly the same as like attracting a partner or attracting like friendship groups, attracting a spirit, whatever it might be. It's all interlinked. So, you know, I think the biggest relief for me is when I stopped paying a hell of a lot of money to learn somebody else's process and actually to trust my inner intuition and my instinct and to do things my own way, because that is such a powerful thing to be. I know what I need to be doing. Yeah. I just need to believe it. So this inner work is so important, so important. All the other stuff's important. Like you need to learn how to run a business. Of course it's important, but the inner stuff, like do that, do more of that. Start to love yourself, respect yourself, set boundaries, forgiveness, all of that. Like it's so important for us to be able to get over all of that. You know, like I say, eliminate the bullshit. And when you eliminate the bullshit, you start to eliminate the goddess.
I love it. Let's talk about what you're giving. It says, big change, small steps, roadmap. Discover 5 easy steps to overcome your blocks, become highly visible, create extraordinary success in an effortless, abundant way. What? I need that.
Sign up.
I will. Tell us a little bit about that gift.
It's, you know what? It's a PDF. I'm not going to make it all fancy.
No, great.
It's a PDF that I've created, and what it is it's the first steps, 5 steps that I share with my clients when they come and work with me. And it's really looking at, I think we put so much pressure on ourselves to try and go big, quick. And sometimes you just need to take a step in the right direction. So it's really creating little situations for you, little things to explore. So it's very exploratory and very lovely. And it's just something that I think that your audience will really appreciate.
I love it. I love it. I love you. Thank you so much, Abby, for being here on Liberated, sharing your journey, and also really this message of, I love that we are ending the very end of this. You talked about trusting yourself, because the answers really are, we already have the answers. It's what's in the way of us actually stepping into who we who we are and all of our power.
Yeah, we do. We have the answers. We're goddesses. Hello.
We're goddesses. Hello. And if you didn't know, now you know. Abby, thank you so much. It's always a blessing to talk to you, to share our hearts together, because I just feel so aligned. Thank you for sharing on Liberated. And thanks for watching, everyone, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Thank you for watching. For more videos designed to help you with your confidence and visibility, then subscribe to my channel and download your Illuminate from Within ebook. The link is in the video description.